Hey there, friends and enemies, Joper here again, and at TennoCon, we got brand new gameplay and more information about Soulframe, a brand new game from Digital Extremes, and they have been absolutely crushing it with Warframe lately, and this looks like it's going to be the fantasy counterpart to Warframe, and it's not going to play exactly the same. There's going to be a lot of differences, but hopefully they're able to continue making ongoing content like they do with Warframe and just build upon it year after year, because honestly the latest information we've seen about both games is incredibly promising in my opinion. Let's check out what they have in store for us and also talk about how we're likely going to be able to play this game later this year.
Feel it like rain.
I do like the way this game looks a lot.
Breathe it like wind. All of Alka's making is magic.
It's got real Skyrim vibes for me, to be honest.
So wield it.
Yeah, I'm a fan.
Or yield to it. Once you've learned, that is a
Hopefully there's a
choice
variety of
only
abilities and
you
weapons
can
and all this
make.
stuff. I would imagine so, but... Nah, the throwing sword is kind of sick.
Don't you forget it. Even if they find you, even if they sing
Flying
your
bow.
song, the magic, it's in you. Yours.
Okay, that's kind of fire.
Like the wind.
Just hanging out with their animals. I like how this looks very much like a hobbit house. I do like you feel almost like a druid in this game, so alright, let's check out some stuff. First of all, if you haven't reserved your Envoy name, highly recommend you go and do so that way you have it ready for when the game does kick off. Now, some things that I want to talk about. First and foremost, the announcement that we got at TennoCon is that the Prelude will be publicly playable likely by the end of 2024. No firm release date there, but it does sound like everyone will be able to get hands-on with this game, or at least a lot more people will be able to get hands-on with this game later this year. And I'll be very curious to see how they handle it. I believe it's going to be a free-to-play game just like Warframe as well. And there's really no information on it. It didn't show us any kind of content that shows us playing with other players. It was all solo gameplay so far from what we've seen. So I'm really curious how this is going to shape up. We know it's not going to be an MMO or anything like that, but will it be like Warframe where you will have matchmaking, you will have options to play with other people? Very curious about how they handle all that. I will go into a deeper dive of the gameplay tomorrow when I have more time, but for now, let's check out what combat they showed us for this time. So we do have the throwing sword that we have seen in past trailer as well, and it looks really cool. I do like this. It reminds me of the axe from God of War, where you can toss it and likely call it back at any point. The magic use here when you summon all the lightning, kind of sick. I was a fan of that. This, where you kind of jump in the air and hover. A lot of bow-based abilities, it looks like, because we had this guy jumping up in the air and using the bow, but then also we had this guy fighting hand-to-hand with the bow as well. And I do find that to be quite interesting. Normally, games make you decide on whether you want to be a up-close fighter, a ranged bow user, etc. Having a hybrid of that would be a fun way to allow you to play multiple game styles with different weapons. So, for example, if you're a bow wielder and you can use up close, almost like shotgun and melee bow wielding, and then you can also step back and use ranged versions of it. Same thing with magic. If you have the AoE magic, but then single target magic, a lot of different options would essentially promote a lot of different playstyles, which I would personally really enjoy. Not a lot here. Like I said, there's a full 17-minute gameplay breakdown that I will check out tomorrow. But for now, this game looks beautiful. I do find that it is going to scratch an itch for me that I've been waiting for a long time. It's not really a single player story narrative driven game necessarily, but it has a lot of those elements. It's not a MMO where you're just likely going to be just grinding the same thing over and over and over again to level up your gear slightly. So hopefully it has a nice balance between that, and you can find a community, because ultimately that's going to decide whether this game is successful long term or not. Like I said, tomorrow I'll be putting a video on here, full breakdown of the 17 minutes of gameplay. That one's going to be a bit longer. I wanted to check this one out, like I said, in the interim, and really get hyped about this game, because knowing that it is going to be playable in some form or fashion later in 2024 is very exciting, because I thought this game wasn't going to see the light of day until next year at the earliest, because of when they announced it and everything. We also know that the developers behind No Man's Sky is also introducing a fantasy version of their game as well. So it's really fascinating, and I do wonder if there will be competition between Soulframe and Into the Fire, but both of those are games that I am incredibly excited and fascinated about, and I hope they live up to my expectations, because I feel like they will be absolute bangers if that is the case. Anyway, let me know what you're most excited about with Soulframe. Is it a game that you are looking to play day one? Still wait and see. With the trust that Digital Extremes have built with Warframe, I personally know I'm going to be checking it out day one and seeing if I enjoy it firsthand, because I know that the developers have a history of absolutely awesome content over the long haul, and they will stick with the game through the ups and downs. Anyway, if you enjoyed the video, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. It helps me out tremendously. Shows you want to see more Soulframe content from me going forward. My name is Jopa. Have a good one. I'll catch you all later.